Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the annual conference with African Union University International and the Dar es Salaam University holding this academic research conference to be able to advance knowledge, advance understanding to everyone across the Pan-African continent. And it is a huge pleasure to be able to host this conference together with Dar es Salaam University that has done amazingly well across Africa. The works have been displayed and projected across the continent for all to see. So without further ado, we'll proceed to the prayers. So to take it to our partners, Dar es Salaam University, to pray for us. Then we now take it also for within the virtual for also to pray for us. So from Dar es Salaam, if you are hearing us, you can begin with the prayer.
Okay. I think let's humble ourselves for the prayer. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the universe, the most gracious, the most merciful. Master of the day of judgment, you alone we worship, and you alone we seek for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those unto whom you've given your favors, and not the path of those unto whom you've given your wrath. In Allah we pray. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that prayer has been able to cover a lot of ground. I think what we would do is that the closing prayer will come from within. So I think we can actually proceed to the next agenda. So thank you very much for the prayer. May Allah hear our prayers, and may the conference be a huge success for everybody. So to the next agenda, we are going to start with the statement remarks, and it will start from myself who is the president of the AUU, African Union University International, before going to the vice president and going to TISBI. That's Dar es Salaam. So I'm going to see how we can share the slides. Okay. So what will happen? Let us go there to be able to. I think Professor Kamara take the.
Let the engineer of Dar es Salaam moderate the sound, so you will get you clear from Dr. Osman. Let the campus here moderate the sound.
Yes, I think they are trying to link in so that we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think we go. Please, can you go with the statement first so that I can comment? Thank you.
Oh, okay. You want me to go first?
Yes, go first.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My president from the African Union University AUU International, our colleagues, Dr. Nicholas, Vice President of TISBI, Dr. Osman from Dar es Salaam University, Professor Solomon, colleagues around the world that I may not be able to name in person. I would like to first appreciate the fact that we have all agreed to team up as a consortium in advancing the Pan-African ideology, of which is taking roots across the leaps and bounds. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all our colleagues who have thought it wise to team up with us in expanding and making this big. I would like to let you know that we have come a long way. We have had support of government. For example, like in Sierra Leone, we had the full blessing and the partnership established with our government in this country. That is the highest body that is regulating education in the country. For example, the Tertiary Education Commission, which is the highest regulatory body taxed by the law through the Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone, has given us their blessings in operating in partnership with them, which they have nominated 3 people: the executive secretary of the commission, the manager of education in the country, and the quality assurance expert. They were all part of the AUUI, that is the African Union University International. Then the National Council on Vocation and Technical Education, which we call the NCTA, also, they are also having 3 nominators in our council. We have the director, that is the leader of the education system in the country. We have the National Secretary General and the program manager. They have also nominated 3 people to sit on our consortium.
And there seems to be some issues with the network from him. We may have to proceed. So I think that is there. While we wait, we are actually going to...
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, yeah, we can hear you. So that you can...
Okay, thank you so much. I think I had a cut off on the other line. So, like I was saying, it is interesting for us to understand that this, to make it very clear for some of us who have not been familiar with what we have been doing lately, I just wanted to clarify this area of assurance, quality assurance, and credibility in the area of our operations in the nations, that we have the full backing of the Ministry of Education, and we have the full backing of the Tertiary Education Commission, which is the highest body regulating education, and also the Univoc program expert, which is called the NCTBA in the country. So our operation around Africa and Sierra Leone and across is fully operationalized by the support of the governments that are in operation. We also have the full representation and support from the government of Liberia through the National Higher Commission in partnership with the DrAPO University in Liberia. We also have a full partnership and in assurance of the government of Russia through the TISBI partnership, of which Nicholas is here. I'm happy seeing him, that we're partnering. So I would like to let you have free mind, free hands, that this consortium is one of the best that is promoting the Pan-African ideology and also contributing in the global scale. So once again, I would like to say it's a good move, it's a lovely move, and also it's achievable. And as you see, I would like on behalf of this forum to congratulate my president, Professor Eric Esoimeme. I was following up on his award yesterday that he has been awarded as one of the best financial crime expert in Nigeria. And a week ago, I was privileged also to be installed by the government of Sierra Leone as a principal in the CIC, the Comprehensive International College, which is fully accredited and registered by the government of Sierra Leone. So you see all of our staffs and our experts are moving up well. So once again, I want to welcome you. You are all welcome to this conference today. Thank you, sir, for the privilege you have given me to make few remarks. So I wish we all this conference with moving on, and it's going to be fruitful discussion, expertise shared, and also question and answer will be tolerated, and partnership will be established with new people like Mayo and also the Python in the South Africa. And recently, we have also working towards signing a partnership with the CIC in the Republic of Sierra Leone and other colleges that already put forward partnership MOU. And there is a partnership review MOU also now with the Tertiary Education Commission to the highest level in the Ministry of Education, the board, and the University of Sierra Leone, where the chairman of the commission is. They are reviewing now, they have a copy. They are reviewing now the MOU. So shortly they will get back to us so we can sign partnership with the University of Sierra Leone through the tech and all the 12 universities in the Republic of Sierra Leone in this consortium. So once again, thank you so much for the privilege. I wish we all will continue and have fruitful deliberation. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the privilege.
Thank you so much, Vice President of the African Union University International. I think that was a very great speech. So I'll just go to add a number of things in terms of to share my screen, which is already, I believe is already sharing now. And just to look into our handbook, looking at what we actually do, this is the most updated recent version. And it just shows, it's already on our website, but just letting you know what we do. It is actually, we have a research center at located in Lagos, Nigeria. We also work, with the Mayo College. That is our distance learning center operating in Sierra Leone. And just as the Vice President has said, we actually are recognized and well put in terms of accreditation. So because we have the balance of the national and international, and working through our consortium to deliver on the education programs we do. So we have our network from the Global Academy of Finance and Management to the University of Management, TISBI, to Global Interfaith University, to Hamar, Salaam, Rudolph Cornell University, and Global Humanistic University. And we have also our affiliate members from Mayo College of Medical Laboratory and Technology to IFO and AF, to Syria Hope Medical Fertility Center, to Nightingale College, to Upper City Covenant Seminary, Panton Business Consultants. For a number of them, there's always going to be official signing happening in another designated time. But for now, we'll be focusing on our academics. So the Governing Council and our academic board members are already on display. A number of them are already here, from Professor Solomon, Professor Kamara. They are all online, and especially so, and a number of them will also be presenting. Just to run through, because like I said, we are sticking to the 5 minutes timing. We are a globally recognized institution. We're offering dynamic blended learning model through both campus-based and online. So it's a balance. We are licensed by the Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority in Singapore, and we are fully recognized and have recognized partnerships in terms of the government agencies in Sierra Leone, the National Council for Technical and Vocational, other academic awards, and also Tertiary Education Commission. And so our vision and mission is obviously to spread. We are mostly in terms of research, and that's why this conference is a research conference running through our faculties, Faculty of Science, Management Sciences, Information Technology, Theological Studies, Education, Health Sciences, and most importantly. So we offer from bachelor's to that element of having master's degree program to PhDs through our partners that we are working with now. And now with the having access to, like just like Vice President has said, we have an MOU already there put before the Central Education Commission, and they are actually having a list of our programs that we are doing with our partners. So all have been displayed, and our handbook is readily available online. So we have the DBAs. One of our closest partners and allies is University of Management, TISBI in Russia, and we have so many programs with them, as can be displayed on the screen, from all the international master in security, intelligence, to others. And they're also going to talk about a number of these themselves. We have MNC management of projects. We have that of the orders from the law in terms of Master of Laws. We have also the MSc Artificial Intelligence, which is, it's something that is so important right now for everybody. We have the MA Peace and Conflict Studies, and it's all done with the consortium. That's what makes it very powerful. Consortium of Pan-African and international universities, and that is what is being recognized. We have the MSc Human Resource Management too. We have MSc Health Services Management Project. All the curriculums, everything, they are available on our website, auuinternational.org. We have MSc International Development Policy, Public Policy and Management. We have also the bachelor's degree in international relationship, with it's going to be launched next year with TISBI. We have bachelor's degree in tourism. We have bachelor's degree in software engineering. We have bachelor's degree in human resource management, bachelor's degree in jurisprudence, bachelor's degree in organizations work with the youth. We have that of the bachelor's degree in hotel business. We have bachelor's degree in management, and we have diploma programs with a number of our accredited partners and also affiliate campuses like Nightingale College. We have done health courses, management courses, TVET programs with short-term courses. And obviously we have international professional postgraduate diploma in financial crime risk management, among others that are being listed there. So it's really a wide variety of courses that are available for us to be able to utilize. And I think we've been able to just summarize what we are doing. So without wasting too much time, we should be able to pass it to the next, which should be our partners, which is TISBI. Professor Nicholas is already online, so we give you the floor to you for 5 minutes. From TISBI, we now go to Salaam, and then we can now start going to the lectures. So TISBI, over to you. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you today. And honorable colleagues, esteemed guests, distinguished academics, professionals, students, if you have, and partners from African University, Daaru, Salaam University, Maya College, and Medical Laboratory and Technology and beyond. I'm welcoming you to this African Union International Conference. It's an honor to join you in collaboration with our respected colleagues at Daaru, Salaam University, Maya College. My name, as it was mentioned by Eric Nikolai Sinyak, I am Vice President of TISBI University, and I am Rector of Global Humanistic University. And I am delighted to welcome you to this remarkable gathering of minds, ideas, and innovation. Today, we gather at a moment of substantial opportunity and responsibility. Our discussion will explore how higher education can drive economic resilience, catalyze joint program across borders, as Eric mentioned, and strengthen cultural and linguistic bridges that empower a global connected citizens. we will engage with contemporary themes such as artificial intelligence, digital transformation, global education, to ensure our institution remain catalyzed for inclusive growth and sustainable development. Economic vitality is inseparable from education. Through collaboration, we can design curricula and research agendas that align now with market need, foster entrepreneurship, and support evidence-based policy making. Joint programs, academic exchange, dual degrees, cooperative research initiatives, and industry partnership will amplify of reach, deepen our impact, and accelerate innovation. In the value of cross-cultural understanding, we are committed to expanding access to language and cultural training. In this regards, we are pleased to highlight the role of Russian cultural and language centers as a part of our broader strategy to diversify linguistic competencies, foster international dialogue, and prepare students and professionals for a more multipolar world. And these centers will support language acquisition, cultural literacy, and bilateral scholarly cooperation, enriching curricula and expanding international research collaboration. As we navigate artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, we do so with a clear purpose. To augment human potential, uphold ethical standards, and ensure global collaborations that transcend borders. Our aim is to build resilient education ecosystem that empower delivery learners, academic, professional, and vocational through the flexible, high quality, and learner-centered experience. Global education requires international collaboration across institutions, countries, and disciplines. This conference embodies that spirit. Cross-international partnership, shared research agendas and opportunities, and to co-create knowledge that addresses local challenges with global insight. We must invest in inclusive policies, equitable access to resources, and mentorship that supports the next generation of scholars, clinicals, and leaders. In partnership with our host institution, we are committed to advancing rigorous ethics-centered research that informs policy and improves economic outcomes, expanding inclusive access to high-quality education, harnessing artificial intelligence, fostering international collaboration, strengthening joint programs, and encouraging of development and integration of Russian cultural and language centers to the broaden linguistic skills, deepen intercultural understanding, and facilitate bilateral collaboration. As we embark on keynote session, panel discussion, workshop, if you have, I invite everyone to engage with curiosity, generosity, and mutual respect. Let us leverage the momentum of these conferences to forge lasting partnership, seed transformation ideas, and turn them into actions that amplifies economies, educational system, and communities across Africa and the world. In closing, I extend heartfelt gratitude to all organizers, speakers, and participants for your dedication and hard work. May these conferences be catalyst for learning, innovation, and collective impact. This is welcome speech from me and also from Nella Cruz, President of TISBI. And we additionally would like also to invite you to the TISBI conference, which will be held in December 18th, 2025, with the topic Science and Education as a Key Drivers for Sustainable Social Economic Development in Era of Global Change in hybrid format. But if someone would like to visit TISBI in person, you are invited, and your expenses in Kazan, where this conference will be held, will be covered. You should just pay for your flight tickets and like that. And we are honored to invite scholars, researchers, and practitioners to participate in this pivotal international gathering hosted by our university. And this conference coincides with the 80th anniversary of UNESCO and the 2026 International Year of Volunteers for Sustainable Development, United Nations. Underscores our shared commitment to science, education, and sustainable development amid global change. Organizers will be Ministry of Education, Public Chamber of Republic of Tatarstan, our university, UNESCO, College TISBI, Basheev University, Kazakhstan, Belarusian University, International Academy of Psychological Science, and some others. And conference tracks humanities and education, technological leadership, law and social justice, digital transformation, project management, innovation, physical education, and many other topics. Thank you very much for your attention, and welcome to Kazan, and welcome to our current conferences. Thank you, African Union University, and our partners with whom we will plan to have double degree and to open Russian speaking and cultural language centers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was really great. It was able to detail exactly what we are doing and our plans, and also what TISBI is coming up with and it already has on ground. So welcome you very well. So I think we'll move into the remarks from the Chancellor of Salaam University, Dr. Osman Mohammed, for your speech, remarks. This 5 minutes remark speech. Are you online? You can unmute yourself. Dr. Osman. For your speech, it's not it's just the welcome speech from the Chancellor, not the presentation yet. The welcome speech from our co-host, Dr. Osman. Are you online? Welcome speech from Dar es Salaam to the conference.
You hear me, sir?
Yes, but we can't. Okay.
Yeah, just a minute. You come in as soon, and then give the remarks and the welcome remarks. Oh wow, it's
we can't see you. I don't think the camera is getting to you. We need to see your face. Yeah, we're still waiting so that we can proceed for the speech from the Chancellor of Dar es Salaam University.
Like a touch of Hello.
Hello, yes, we can hear you. There's some echoes, but we can hear you.
Yes, good afternoon. Greeting from Salaam University, all professors, all the doctors. We are very happy today in this conference. شركة and African Union.
Maybe you put off one device, put off one device and use put off other devices and use.
Okay.
Okay, proceed. Let's. You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
And we are very happy to be part of this conference. Signing memorandum of understanding agreement signing memorandum of understanding agreement signing of memorandum of university and Pythonist business consultancy South Africa, and we are very happy to be part of international conference We will cover with you all the professors and we are thankful for all our students and our lecturers and our visiting and our regional director and my advice of academics. And today we are honored to be part of this conference. And this conference will lead our university to be part of other international conferences. And we are very happy to be part of this. And we requested for Professor Eric to continue for this conference, maybe it's better for every month or welcome to Daaru University of Somalia. Thank you very much all the universities here and all leaders and all our students and all our leaders. Thank you very much. Welcome to the National University of Somalia.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. That was really a very powerful speech from Dar es Salaam University. A welcoming speech and a speech that has declared the conference open for our discussions among other expertise. So I believe that we are now able to proceed to the topic presentations. Which we are here to do. Remember that we have the theme of the conference, which is the future of anti-money laundering compliance and financial crime compliance. And this is what is very important because financial crime is a major issue, a canker worm eating deep into the fabrics of every nation and stalling economic progress and all the particular developments that we see. So it is very, very key and important that we do this. However, just for a brief time, before we go into the presentations, permit me with Professor Solomon, we had one more outstanding remark. I think Hamar University just joined us now. That's supposed to be the last remark. I had been in chat with him. I think they were very engrossed in a number of things. So please, Hamar University, if you are here now, please give your 5 minutes remark if you are here now so that we can proceed.
Yes, Prof.
Yes. We're glad that you could join us.
Yes,
So you can give your 5 minutes remark about Hamar University.
Thank you, Prof. I'm happy to join this meeting. I'm just giving a great thanks to all colleagues, professors, and any other one who had joined this meeting. And I'm very happy to be here. We are collaborating with the AU team, like Professor Paul and also Eric. And we collaborated at least almost approximately 1 year. And we are very happy for your collaboration. And we need to keep going up. We work with the postgraduate program. And we had interacted with a longer term of work. And we have also understood to each other as a cultural, as also behavior. And I'm very happy to all other team who are here. My name is Ahmed Mohammed. I'm the postgraduate director at Hamar University. So our collaboration is very high as African Union University, and we want also to be together one of the days, maybe in Nigeria or Sierra Leone or in Somalia. So thank you to everyone. And also our collaboration programs like masters, we collaborate 5 main faculties: Faculty of Humanity and Social Science, Faculty of Education and Language, Faculty of Health Science, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Faculty of Economic Management, Science. So we are very happy. I don't say more other words to address in here, but I can say keep continue for Prof. Eric and other team for your collaboration. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that was good. We have so many programs coming, with them. So it's very good that it's there. We're having something from our speakers. I'll look at the message, which is good. The conference is going very well. We've had our key partners, give their powerful speeches all the way from all our partners. And thank you so much for joining us. We are now proceeding to the presentation section because the theme of the conference is the future of anti-money laundering compliance and financial crime compliance. So we're going to see presentations, very powerful presentations are coming up now. The first is going to Professor Solomon. I believe you're online. Please prepare to now share your screen. So we have the presentation coming. Very important. Okay, thank you very much. Professor Solomon is the Dean of the Faculty of Information Technology and Engineering, presenting on investigating fraud-related offenses using traditionally programmed systems and artificial intelligence. This is going to go into, we have a publication coming now from AUUI. We had one earlier this year. We have one coming next year. This particular topic presentation he has already submitted an article which is going to go form part of our chapters. So thank you very much, Professor Solomon. Over to you. Remember, 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'll be presenting on investigating fraud-related offenses using traditionally programmed systems and artificial intelligence. So I want to thank our president, thank the vice president, the board, the deans, HOD, and our partners. So we begin by looking at key discussions of fraud investigation, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybercrime, and predictive analysis. Of course, we agree with us that fraud threatens financial integrity and governance and cybersecurity. All over the world, if there's excessive fraud in a country, it's difficult to govern such a country. Traditionally, investigations rely on rule-based systems. In other words, there's a fixed set of rules. If it is this, it is that. Okay, that is what we have traditionally. And AI introduces adaptive, predictive, and real-time detection. In other words, to go into the back end to detect whatever is happening. The aim is to compare traditional and AI, artificial intelligence, fraud prevention. Now, for avoidance of that, let us define fraud. Fraud is intentional deception for unlawful gain. That is fraud. And there are types of fraud: financial fraud, cyber fraud, identity theft, insider trading, money laundering. Now, each requires tailored investigative methods. Traditional program systems, let's look at what we have in most traditional program systems. They operate on fixed logic. In other words, like for example, look at a Central Bank of Nigeria, and I can say, okay, any transaction that is more than 5 million, flag it. A thing can be invited for squeezing. Don't know why the person is transacting more than 5 million naira. Okay, so the tools that I use in the traditional world are audit command software, the ACL ID. So the strength of this is transparent, auditable, and court admissible. In other words, the court system understands this software. And the weaknesses are rigid, high false positive, because why is it high false positive? Is the fact that money laundering people are now using sophisticated tools, AI tools, to do laundering that the traditional system cannot catch. Example, somebody use decimal points, 0.012 like that, to do transaction, to do fraud that could not be detected by this traditional audit software. But at the end of the day, he still got what he wanted. He was able to defraud the system, but nobody took note. In the eyes of this auditing command softwares, they could not detect it. So they cannot detect new fraud patterns that are happening because of the present artificial intelligence system that is around us. Let's see artificial intelligence in fraud detection. Using machine learning languages and deep learning languages. The key technology here is machine learning, the natural language processing, and predictive analytics. Applications are used in banking, insurance, and e-commerce. Advantage is adaptive. It is adaptive, it's fast, reduces false positives. The challenges is cost, data quality, and explainability. This IA, not too many people know this yet. So explaining it is a bit difficult for people that are not really conversant with AI. And it's supposed to be something that should be at the fingertip of everyone that is in the circle of working against fraud system. Now, comparative summary. You see, look at this system. You see, in the traditional system, the operation is fixed. When it is 5 million or 10 million flag. But for artificial intelligence, it leans on data. Whether it is 0.01 kobo or dollars, or the case may be, it will pick it because of the patterns. It will watch the patterns that are happening, even if it is 0.0001 dollar, it will watch the patterns and check the accounts that are coming from the other accounts that are going. And it will be able to flag the fraud that is going on, even when it is not up to the 5 million or 10 million. And that is where artificial intelligence is very important. With those machine language and the deep learning language, it can bring out such data that accumulated them from different sources and bring them together and see detect the fraud. So feasibility, flexibility, we talk about the low for traditional and high for artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence has gone beyond the traditional method. Then data type will be structured only. What I mean by structured only is that if it is 5 million a flag, it is structured. But for artificial intelligence, whether it's structured or unstructured, whether it's 0.001, 1, and this case may be, maybe not be structured, but it can be able to pick them. Even if it takes different people and the connection is linked together, it will flag it. So whether structured or unstructured, the artificial intelligence system can pick it compared to the traditional system that is only structured. It's about whether it's 5 million or 10 million or 100 million, you flag, okay? The transparency is high in traditional system, and a one of artificial intelligence is moderate because it's working from the back end. Everybody knows one of the traditional system that once it is 5 million to flag it. So nobody will want to walk to that 5 million. But for artificial intelligence, nobody knows what the artificial intelligence system is going to pick. So it's an eagle eye checking on every transaction on the net. Accuracy is limited for traditional system. Artificial intelligence is high, and scalability is low for traditional system and high in artificial intelligence. So for the hybrid model, which is what we will want, because there are experts already in fraud detection. And of course, you see the book that is written by Prof. Eric and other colleagues from AUU. So we mean they are already experts. And we need this expert. We cannot throw away our experts. So we need these traditional rules and the artificial intelligence. So it's a combination of both traditional transparency with AI intelligence. Example is AI filters data, traditional rule verifies, then audit log ensures accountability. So provide the best of both worlds, accuracy, compliance, and adaptability. AI tools in modern fraud investigation. We have the predictive analytics for anomaly detection, then the neural network for complex fraud patterns. This neural network is the system and also the network for the entire country or the world. So wherever it's coming from, it is detected. Then the natural language programming for analyzing communications like emails and chats. You know, the traditional method cannot detect emails fraud or chat fraud, where people are doing fraud to chatting. But the AI will pick them. Whatever the language is going on, the AI has the understanding to pick them, whether they are using email or they are using chat, or they are using some other or from the back end of phishing, and this case may be. So and also the blockchain for transaction transparency. Ethical and legal considerations. AI decisions must be explainable. We need to be able to get to the level that everybody will understand what the AI is doing. Because if you don't understand what it's doing, you may not be able to use it. You may be feeling what exactly is going on. But so we need a system that AI should be brought in a format that everybody can understand the tools. Okay, then protect personal data and maintain digital ethics. Not going into people's personal data as the case may be. Even if it detects and something maybe like it's an error, it should not flag somebody that is genuine to be a fraudulent person. Okay, so those things are ethics that needs to be taken care of. Then collaboration with regulatory authority is vital. We can't do this on our own. So it's even good that every country, we have a department of fraud detection, every country, so that these people can work together from different countries and be able to reduce fraud to the minimum. The future directions will be fraudsters now use AI and deep fakes. You can see that fraudsters are already using AI. So if we don't go into AI, there's going to be a lot of fraud that will be uncovered where fraudsters are already using it. So the hybrid now is to use the AI and blockchain system, what is already existence in addition to AI. Then the global cooperation and continuous staff training is required. So such department to be given good training as it is with the present traditional method and the AI fraud detection. Then development of explainable AI for transparency. Whether people are knowledgeable in AI, whether they read engineering or science or not, the case may be, there should be some form of ways that they can understand the artificial intelligence, which should be explained. So they will know the vocabulary, how the AI thinks, how it functions, how it detects the patterns as well. Okay, so in conclusion, fraud investigation evolving from manual to intelligence prediction combines human expertise, rules-based transparency, and AI accountability. The goal is financial integrity, ethical government, and digital trust. Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, thank you very much. That was really good to be able to explain to us how we can actually deter and detect fraud using traditionally programmed technology and also artificial intelligence enabled system. There's always that confusion usually for people to understand both, and you've been able to bring that to light and also make us to understand the importance of having both and the benefits. So thank you very much, Professor Solomon. Without further ado, we'll go to, I'm sorry for Lehana Nel, we will have to take you to the third spot because we just got information that the Salaam, they want to exit soon. I mean, they want to go for a particular government meeting. So the Vice Chancellor wants to quickly deliver his speech before he goes. I just got the call now. So we would have to, if he's on call, if he's available now, please prepare yourself to present. That is Professor Abdi Adan Osman, Vice Chancellor of Salaam University. Is he online? Professor Abdi Adan Osman. Okay, I think he's online. Professor Abdi Adan Osman, please unmute yourself and present. Okay, thank you.
Sir.
Please, the echoes, try to work on that. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Please work on the background noise, please. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I actually greet you through my distinguished protocols. So all protocols reserved, and we are very honored and very happy to be part of this very important conference today. And I thank you for giving us the opportunity to present the topic of the academic fraud. Understanding academic fraud, the typologies, risk, and mitigation strategies. That's what I shall go through the short period of time that you have provided. And actually, we have to understand in this time of era that the fraud in the academic is very, very high from all perspectives. For example, at the students' perspective, do you hear me very well? Do you hear me very well?
Yes, we can hear you when you are standing here.
Thank you.
So
at students' perspective and also at institutional perspective. Nowadays, as has been said by my predecessor or our previous colleague, as he has highly discussed and focused on the adaptation of the AI, the opportunities of innovative and holistic students is now out of the range, because it seems clear that most of the students rely on an AI on bringing or doing their coursework through the AI technology. So this has affected the production of holistic students who are prepared for life because they find it easier for the AI to generate the information they required in a very short and simplified form. So this has now created and reduced the quality of education to a very lower level. So it is very great for us to understand these implications by the technology in this time or in this time of era. For example, our ignorance today will be introduction and rationale. Why do we need to understand the risk of academic fraudulence, and what are the ethical consideration and integrities in academic that are required to make sure that our the current generation are not dependent on AI, but rather be innovative and create academic works. So we shall see what academic fraud is. Then we see the typologies of academic fraud, legal and regulatory frameworks, specifically, at least in every country has some legal frameworks to regulate such kind of forgery or academic fraudulence. And we shall see in the Somali context or perspective, the Somali Penal Code. The risk and consequences of academic fraud, the mitigation strategies, and then we shall provide recommendation and implementation. Then we go to the question and answers. Now, we say that academic integrity is the foundation of quality education. Now, in most parts of the world, and particularly in Somalia, as in many developing countries, a challenge of weak regulations and oversight increases the risk of academic misconduct. This study examines the causes, consequences, and the control mechanism of the academic fraud. So we ask ourselves, what is academic fraud? Now, academic fraud involves dishonest and deceitful behavior in academic activities, including cheating in the examination, vulgarism in the thesis or dissertations during conduction of the academic research when students are graduating, falsification of documents. This is falsification of also academic documents, and also impersonation. It undermines credibility and qualification. So if, for example, a certain institution's document has been falsified, the reputation and the credibility of that institution might be missed and affected by that particular person who has falsified that particular documents. And that is what happening around the globe in the current, due to the advancement of the digital technology in most parts of the world. Now, the typologies of fraud, of academic fraud, include cheating, using unauthorized material or aid. In most cases, now we mostly find that the students preparing for examinations, prior to the examination period, they rather try to cheat and prepare some cheating materials or aid during the examination, which will reduce and scale down their level of quality of education. Vulgarism, copying others' work without acknowledgement. This is highly increasing in the world today because students are adopted to technology, the technology of AI. And you know, AI is an artificial intelligence, and when they have requested for certain material, it generates from different sources, from different websites, without the acknowledgement of the owner of those particular sources of information. So this is now highly increasing in the current situation and of this era. Therefore, vulgarism should be avoided within our academic institutions. Coercion means an unauthorized collaboration. It also happens in most cases. There is an unauthorized collaboration between institutions. We very well know that in some countries, the policies are restricted and limited to providing an overseas educational outsourcing, but rather some institutions do it to their own interests, and on the other hand, contract cheating, paying others to complete work. It happens. Now, these days, our students are not highly indulged and inclining to learn research very well. So this leads for them to bribe some other people and give them money to complete the work for them. Fabrication, falsifying data and information is also one of the challenging aspects in the current situation in the academic institutions. Impersonation, sitting exams for others. It happens. I remember in the 2023, and a lecturer in a university in Eastern Africa, which I don't want to mention here today, was seen sitting for examination for his girlfriend, which was one of his students, which is actually, which I call it is a very great conspiracy in the academic environment. What are now the legal and regulatory frameworks globally and also in the Somalia Penal Code or in the Somalia context? Now, when it comes to Somalia, we have the Penal Code 1962, which addresses fraud, forgery, false documentation, and misrepresentation. While not explicitly defining academic fraud, but however, it is within the context of fraud, because once there is forgery and falsifying documents, it comes under the threshold of fraud related to offenses applying. So this includes the forgery of certification. So once the certificate has been forged and falsified, so it comes in within the threshold of this penal code as a crime. So falsification of documents and fraudulent misrepresentation under Article 364 to 390 prescribe penalties for forgery of certificates and for falsification of documents and also misrepresentation. So sometimes you see that a person may apply for an academic institution to work and provide service to the institution, but after some time later, when it comes to the real time that the institution asks that person to bring their full document, and then you share the document with the institution where they have acknowledged that they are from, then the institutions might reply none, that particular person has not graduated, neither has been enrolled in that particular institution, which is an academic fraud. Now, what are the risks and the consequences of academic fraudulence? For students, disciplinary action, expulsion, and legal consequences that they may face. And it happens in most countries. For example, in our university, Salaam, if a student has been seen conducting any academic fraud, faces disciplinary action such as suspension and expulsion, depending on the level of the academic fraud that particular student might have conducted or committed. For an institution, loss of credibility and accreditation risk. In Somalia, if a certain academic institution has been cited of providing false documents, it loses credibility and also accreditation from the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Higher Education. For society and qualified graduates, corruption, reduced trust will come out in education. So it is a great challenge. Now for Somalia, specific risks, weak enforcement and outdated legal instruments are available, but in most cases, some countries in Africa might also experience the same as Somalia. So we need to as an African Union Consortium, we need to cooperate and advocate to make sure that no academic fraud has been conducted within the framework of this consortium. What are the causes and enabling factors? Now, academic pressure, competition, and lack of also awareness. It is academic pressure because nowadays people need certificates to apply for jobs, and there's high competition for jobs. In this case, people now are indulged in committing or falsifying documents due to lack of awareness of the consequences. Weak institutional integrity policies. if the country has not very strong legal frameworks and policies which provide for academic integrity, then this might also cause and be one of the enabling factors. Contract cheating websites. Insufficient deterrence measures. If the country does not have any policies or legal frameworks that provide for any deterrence measures that are meant to deter such crimes, then it is a challenge and will continue to enable people to continue committing academic fraud. Social economic factors. Yeah, this also causes a great social economic factors as it will undermine the innovation and creativity of the students. Mitigation strategies and institutional level. Now, what are the mitigation strategies? How that we have mentioned above? Enforce academic integrity policies. Now, it is upon our government and also our institutions to make sure that they have enforced the academic integrity policies and also the legal provisions that are available for disciplinary purposes. Use vulgarism detection softwares, and of course, as long as people are now adapted to the use of the AI technology, it is important that institutions of educational institutions must have and build softwares for vulgarism detection to make sure that or discourage students do not depend on AI. Redesigning assessment to reduce cheating also is another very important mitigation strategy, which also means if you redesign assessment to reduce the cheating, is a way to overcome the problem. Building integrity culture through awareness programs. We make sure that we, as in the academic institutions, we always build a culture of integrity, an environment or atmosphere where students are given awareness of making sure that they are honest and work there or learn through integrity and produce very efficient and effective work without cheating. Strengthen supervision and invigilation. In most cases, now we believe that there are some online courses, and also during examinations, we must make sure that our invigilation activities and supervisions are strengthened in such a way that the students do not have the opportunities to cheat in the examination assignment and also in their thesis. Now, update the social, we also have to update our penal codes to explicitly criminalize academic fraud. If a certain person has been found of committing academic fraud, now there must be some penalties to criminalize such institutions or specific individuals who have committed such a crime. Now, establish interministerial Minister of Education, the Minister of Justice, and even the Ministry of Labor and Social and Affairs of every state must make sure that they all collaborate and cooperate in ensuring and verifying the document provided by the candidates who are seeking for higher education, who are also willing to obtain or get a job in the public and also private institutions. And it happens that one has been found of committing such academic crime, then they face justice and be criminalized. Strengthen law enforcement on document forgery and fraudulence. We must also have softwares that can be used to verify, or we must make sure that we provide documents that cannot be forged, so that we make sure the documents are fully verified and cannot be forged before or upon the application of either institution of higher education for career development or for job opportunities. Promote also coordination among universities and accreditation bodies. Now, the university, those coordination or among universities must make sure that they have very strong verification softwares for certificates and also other documents to make sure that people are discouraged to falsify or forge documents from their specific institutions. Implementation plan and recommendations. Now, what is the short term? The short term is that integrity audits and policy reviews must be done. Medium term, legislative review to include academic fraud offenses where they are not available. Longer term national academic integrity strategy is also required. And encourage modernization of legal frameworks and digitalize academic record system to prevent forgery. Now, what are some of the keys that we need to take? Academic fraud undermines national development because it reduces the quality of education. In most countries in Africa and also in most parts of the world, it provides legal foundation for tackling fraud. We should always provide legal frameworks to track fraud. Institutional and legal measures must complement each other, and then building a culture of integrity is the most sustainable strategy to overcome such academic fraud. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity today. I hope if there are any questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's even an important point. Questions, if you have questions, please put it on the chat box so that you can ask for all the speakers that have spoken. It's very important to get it. And it's very elaborate. I really, really love this presentation, just like the rest of them. And this was able to touch on academic fraud, which has become a major issue. We'll be looking at also getting the paper version of it, so we can post it in our next book that we want to publish next year. So this is a very great presentation. So we have the article version. We can also publish it there. So thank you very much for the very powerful presentations. So they're asking how we'll get the slides. We'll get it to you after the conference. I believe them. As long as you registered, we'll be able to get the slides to you, obviously with the consent of the presenters. So thank you so much. We will now be proceeding to the next one. I think the conference is going very well. We've had two very powerful presentations, and it's all touching on, that of fraud and artificial intelligence, how we can use that to navigate through, how we can use that around the element of how we are putting it here. So the next presenter will be Lehana Nel, that will be presenting, on a very important topic, also centered around combating fraud. She's a chartered business consultant in practice and a certified fraud examiner with more than a decade of experience in forensic auditing, governance, consulting, and tax strategy. We've kind of been able to work together in a series of publications, conferences. We are also working in the forthcoming book together with her. I believe that she's going to do something very powerful with her, just like what she did previously. And also, I think she's the working there in terms of the Association for Fraud Examiners, the chapter president. So we're looking forward to, please, can you share your slides so you can start your presentation? A very powerful profile from you. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you,
afternoon.
Professor. I hope that you all are well. I just want to see if everyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you and you can see your slides.
We can hear you very well.
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
And your slide too.
Okay, wonderful. Let me start to play. So, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today about the evolving landscape of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. All protocols observed. I'm extending a heartwarm thank you for the invitation. I'm truly honored to be presenting on this platform this afternoon, and I must admit I'm excited about the ethical framework that is expressed on this platform and between the peers and the colleagues. I'm honored and I'm humbled to be one of your speakers this afternoon. The AML and the CTF environment is dynamic, highly regulated, and increasingly complex. It sits at the intersection of financial integrity, national security, and evolving global technology. As we moved from 2024, 2025, and going into 2026, the need for organizations to stay ahead of regulatory expectations and the fraudsters and emerging risks is not only a compliance obligation, it's a strategic necessity, one that Africa is in dire need for full African collaboration. Our landscape today, we know that financial crime is no longer limited to traditional banking channels. Criminal networks are adaptive, highly evolutionized, well-resourced and funded, and they leverage technology faster than most regulatory systems can respond. Some leading anti-money laundering threats include money mule networks, often hidden within legitimate customer portfolios, cross-wallet and crypto-based laundering, trade-based money laundering, corruption and political exposure, weak governance environments enable illicit financial flows. The effect and the fraud effect of fraud and corruption in Africa, according to the latest statistics, we are eroding Africa between 50 billion and 150 billion US per year. Our key anti-money laundering threats: the rise of digital and virtual asset risks, cryptocurrencies and are no longer fringe activities. They are mainstream, institutionally traded and globally interlinked. However, regulatory frameworks have not yet evolved at the same pace. The FATF, the UN, and the national regulators now highlight cryptocurrencies and crowdfunding platforms as key channels for terrorist financing. This means more oversight, more verification of origin funds, and stronger ongoing monetary requirements. anti-money laundering risk in high regions, especially in Africa. In all regions in Africa, where private capital investment is growing, terrorist financing are often underestimated. Throughout Africa, from Cape to Cairo, while organizations focus on corruption and ESG obligations, terrorist financing risk often fragmented or even overlooked. This, in actuality, requires deep contextual market knowledge, local network intelligence, and the sharing platform across Africa. Fraudsters will start in one country and then move over to the next. It is an African problem. And then scenario risk-driven assessment, not just the screening. Evolving regulatory and compliance trends from 2024, 2025, and moving into 2026. There are 4 key shifts that businesses need to plan for. Greater emphasis on data privacy, especially the platforms where our data is shared by third-party vendor application processes, where these are sold or used on a platform directly linked to some of the darknet users. Organizations must balance regulatory reporting requirements with protection and sensitive personal and financial data. AI and machine learning in AML monitoring. I was so glad to hear that Africa as a whole are shifting to more real-time data measuring tools in the fight against fraud and corruption. These tools allow real-time detection, but they require transparency, quality, and ongoing human oversight. With that, human ethics will always be needed in our AI and machine learning in the endeavors and applications that we use. What this means for Africa, our organizations and our countries. Fraud and AML teams can no longer operate in silos. We are all fighting the same fight. Data must be shared across internal functions securely and effectively. Decision-making must be faster and more evidence-based. And important, no non-compliance now carries reputational damage that can exceed regulatory penalties. To put it simply, AML is not about preventing crime. It's about protecting African institutionalized national trust. In closing, as financial crimes evolves, our solutions must evolve with it. Technology may be better, but that's where I agree. Ethical culture, governance, and skilled human judgment still remain the core defense. The key takeaways and executive summaries. Financial crime is adaptive. We have to be more susceptible in risk management. We have to be open. We have to be real-time ready. Cryptocurrencies and virtual assets are one of the biggest threats of money movement without proper regulatory frameworks. Africa's emerging markets require intelligence-based due diligence. AI and machine learning strengthen monitoring, but human factor and input will always be required. And then unified AML platforms, especially within Africa, for real-time data sharing, so that bank and asset freezing can be done in quicker and faster turnaround time. Mr. Master, Professor Master of Ceremonies, I would like to hand back to you. And once again, thank you for this opportunity to present.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. That was really a great presentation, taking it from all the basic and also the technical aspects of what is needed when it comes to that aspect of fraud detection. And, you know, your field also something that we also work together, even in practice, to ensure that this is being, you know, subdued. It's a big issue that's actually plaguing the entire continent itself. I know it's also a global issue, but in Africa, we need to do a lot more. And just like you pointed out in your final submission, that as the schemes, fraud schemes, begin to evolve, and because we also have to ensure that the technology and the measures and the techniques in place also evolve rapidly with them, because we can't afford to be left behind. So thank you very much. We're also, looking forward to your article. I remember so that we can be able to publish next year. We believe that we almost have everyone's. We are actually almost on track to have all the articles. So we look forward to your brilliant article, just like the previous times, to add to it. So if you have any questions so far, please feel free to ask. I know there's so many people asking for the slides, so you can also get it. Also, we can send it to them. Obviously, we need your permission to ensure that we're able to do that, and we can actually get it to everyone that needs to see it. So, because people are really fascinated by the information that we are kind of putting out here, it's really fascinating, and we're actually coming to a close of it. The fourth presentation will be coming from actually myself, just to briefly go into the presentation, and the last is going to be from Professor Paul Allieu Kamara, that will give his own final presentation. Then mine is going to be quite straightforward. I'm just going to be adding to the unique presentations that have been going on since morning, and you can see that everything seems to be AI. We can't remove AI from our presentations. And what I'm looking at is also the part of examining the potential misuse of artificial intelligence to circumvent technology-based processes for AML or CFT compliance in the cryptocurrency system. Is quite enormous, but because of time, we're just going to put it that we're also going to make it available, because I believe it's already on, it's already been published actually. So it's quickly good to put it available, to make it available to everyone. So we're just going to focus on the key aspects of it, just like what the topic is saying. Being able to focus on that, because a lot of things are happening with AI itself. We've said so much about how AI can detect, that aspect of money laundering itself. How it can be used to detect fraud. But we've seen a lot of instances where the same artificial intelligence is actually being used to circumvent the processes themselves, technology-based processes. And that's one of the things that has to be considered strictly. It's not automatic that because you have AI and everything just goes well. It actually could be used for good, and it could actually be used for evil. Just like the banking system, where we have so much positivity going on. We also have a lot of negativity also going on within the same system itself. So just looking at the regulatory supervisory framework for the transfers of virtual assets, you look at it from the Financial Action Task Force, National Standards, combating money laundering, and looking at it from the avenue of even recommendation 5 on new technologies, which aims at regulating virtual assets. Financial Action Task Force recommendation 616 on wire transfers and the revised interpretative notes on those recommendations, stating clearly that further to the number of significant changes made by the Financial Action Task Force itself, what we are seeing now is that virtual asset service providers are to accompany transfers of virtual assets with information on the originators and beneficiaries of those transfers. Virtual asset service providers are required to obtain, hold, and share information with their counterparts and what is being called, we call it the travel rule, that the information must travel. And so before we start talking to the AI itself, we look at the regulatory we look at the regulatory framework. Just like I actually, when I actually teach RegTech, so one of the things that we always tell them is we need to understand what the framework is, regulatory and supervisory framework, before we can connect to the technology itself. So connecting to the technology, even from the EU standpoint, the information, if there's any transfer, just like a transaction is being done, the information, we must know who is sending the money and who the beneficiary is. And actually, to achieve that, you are actually going to need a technology that can program the, whether it's a mobile banking app, to be able to ensure that we get that information, very well, and it's actually clear. So, because when it comes to these aspects of virtual assets, there's so much, transactions actually ongoing with them. There are a number of crypto exchanges ongoing too. So this, presentation tries to infuse the topic itself of cryptocurrencies together with the anti-money laundering itself. So we have seen the Financial Action Task Force try to do as much as possible to ensure that they could regulate virtual assets and the virtual asset service providers by giving them new obligations, and with the purpose of facilitating traceability of transfers of virtual assets. So you want to transfer virtual assets, whether between customers, the emphasis is on ensuring that it's been accompanied with information on the originator and beneficiary, so that we know where it is going and we know where it is, who is sending it. Because virtual asset service providers are also required to hold, share that information with their counterparts, and so that you actually know. Because for the purpose of risk assessment, we have geographic risk, we have delivery channel risk, we have transaction risk, we have customer risk, we have industry risk, and especially for that of transaction risk and geographic risk, that information, the travel rule, is very important. So it mandates crypto assets service providers of the originator to ensure that transfers of such are accompanied by the name of the originator's account number, where such an account exists and is used to process the transaction, the originator's address, official personal document number, customer identification number, date and place of birth, crypto asset service provider of the originator, so to ensure transfers are accompanied by the name of the beneficiary and the account number. So those are a lot of the information that we need with that. Aside from that, we are also looking at, even in the Nigerian space, just looking at the measures being put in place together. We have the fact of the Central Bank of Nigeria regulations. So we've seen the Financial Action Task Force. So then we look at what is going on in terms of from here, that the CBN regulations stipulates that any application to open a designated account by a company providing virtual assets will be supported by evidence of a valid license by the Securities and Exchange Commission, certified copies. So we have a lot of requirements to ensure that the system is being protected against, questionable characters, fraudulent, questionable characters that are actually there. So that's one of the reasons where. So just looking at the regulatory framework and ensuring that we don't take so much time. So we have also in Nigeria what we call just 2025. We have the Investment and Securities Act 2025 was passed into law. It classifies the digital assets and cryptocurrencies as securities. For a long time, there's been a little bit of confusion about what the previous act of 2007 was, whether it was able to meet up with the current time. Just like last speaker mentioned, evolving with the measures also includes ensuring that we have current legislations in place that understand the particular issue, to understand the fraudulent schemes. Because if you don't understand the fraudulent schemes, you cannot enact laws to that effect. So the Investment and Securities Act goes further to ensure that and stipulates a person shall not establish or operate a securities exchange unless such a person has been registered with Securities and Exchange Commission. And there are so many requirements. One of the major requirements is that for you to be able to get involved in the cryptocurrency scheme, even cash-based transactions are prohibited, so that the travel rule as other aspects can actually be effective. There's no point of talking about the travel rule and somebody is actually doing cash transactions. Cash transactions mostly are traceable where they are not done online. So we have the Investment and Securities Act, but because of time, we'll move past that. There's a lot of measures in place that have been put into the Investment and Securities Act, making people to understand what is being done. There's so much in the article that has been able to note what is happening. So I've had this article there updated. So now when we look at it, we now say the use of established technology to comply with the requirements. Because before we start talking about how people circumvent the system, the first thing is to look at how there's compliance with the anti-money laundering obligations. And most of the time, we've seen compliance happen using artificial intelligence, whether or not, first of all, from the advent of customer due diligence, we've seen softwares, artificial intelligence softwares that can screen customers for even whether they are politically exposed persons, from criminal watch lists, and then some other lists that are available even there. So they, for sanctions too. So softwares are available. So we are looking at what the benefits of software in being able to implement all these obligations that we mentioned, legal obligations. So we can use those softwares to do that. We can use the softwares even from enhanced due diligence. Can help you to get more information, access the back-end systems of number of these database that's been available. But it's very important to understand your risk profile to be able to get the right technology to use. So that is very key. So, but you can use AI for you to comply for CDD, for enhanced due diligence. There are softwares in place, third-party softwares, or the ones that you actually develop in-house that is able to deliver on that part. You can also use it to even automate other tasks for transaction monitoring, especially to monitor transactions. We have fraud detection systems. There are systems, and to ensure that that system not only monitors for suspicious transactions, but it can also detect suspicious transactions. There are two different parts there: monitor and detect. We've had case studies in the past where it can only monitor, it can monitor, but it cannot detect. Now let's go to the next section, which is what we are here to do in this topic: the misuse of technology advancements. You know, how it's being misused for that particular purpose. Now we've talked about. Now let's now go back to what we said. We talked about customer due diligence using artificial intelligence to be able to enhance your customer due diligence mechanisms using softwares. The same way you are using these softwares, criminals, you have to consider what is going on with criminals. Now, to put it in the perspective of fintechs who are fully digitized, if you are doing your customer due diligence through the digital space, one of the things that you're looking at is the possibility of criminals circumventing the same system. For example, you are onboarding a customer online and you are using these inbuilt cameras to do that. There's the risk of impersonation fraud from that particular customer. There's the risk of identity theft. There's the risk of the customer being able to circumvent the system itself just to pass through the customer due diligence checks. There was a case study recently that's been everywhere, even on LinkedIn, where somebody forged a passport and using artificial intelligence and bypassed the customer due diligence process itself. So that is exactly one of the key issues. That's when you talk about the misuse of technological advancements to circumvent it. The same technology that you're trying to use, the criminals are also using the same thing. So if you are onboarding, especially on the digital space, you have to ensure that you also have measures to make sure that the criminals themselves don't find a way to sidetrack your system from the CDD to the enhanced due diligence. So for enhanced due diligence too, one of the risk areas or the high risk areas is the documents they present. You have to ensure that those documents are authentic. So your verification exercises is not supposed to be on a medium level, it should be on a high level. And when it's on a high level, it means that you can actually project what is going to happen. You can actually project, because now we now have, then another part of it again is that we now have a situation where you want to do further due diligence, where you want to actually use the virtual, just like we're using the Zoom, to interact with these customers, to get information from them before you eventually onboard them. So we have the first stage of where they present their documents, and you use those documents, and you want to verify those documents to ensure that they're actually authentic documents. There's a risk that they could have fake documents, forged documents, and so the measures that you have to put in place to mitigate that is there. For further due diligence, when you want to actually interview these customers using the virtual space, whether it's Zoom or other things, there is the risk of deep fakes. There is the risk of somebody also interacting with them, and they are using a software to project another person on that virtual space. This is actually a reality. It is happening, and we have a lot of examples here. So whoever you are talking to, is actually a different person, and so they're actually using the same artificial intelligence to sidetrack the system. So for a lot of fintechs which are around, they have to be very careful with what this is. That's just a summary of, there are so many other schemes that are there. So how do we prevent artificial intelligence misuse? We've seen the European Union's Artificial Intelligence Act that has come in, that was published in the European Union Official Journal. It made it the first comprehensive horizontal legal framework for the regulation of the system. And the beautiful thing about it is we have Article 52.3, one of the great parts of it, Article 52.3, that makes it mandatory for users of artificial intelligence system that if you want to generate or manipulate image, audio, or video that resembles somebody, you have to disclose the content has been artificially generated. So that is actually now like mandatory. But one of the challenges of the EU part is because it's EU, a lot of countries around the world have not implemented or even revised their money laundering rules to accommodate this issue of the deepfakes. Many of them are also not done, they don't have their own Artificial Intelligence Act. Some are still trying to understand what this artificial intelligence is all about. So, but for the EU, they have taken a giant step. However, even with the giant step they have taken to mandate the users, what about users that intentionally want to use this technology to sidetrack the system itself? So if they want to do that, how do you enforce it on them? So we suggested that obviously there has to be some enforcement mechanisms to make sure of that. We also have suggested here in this paper that it's important that there's a watermark. You put the pressure more or even on the providers of this technology itself, so that as you're providing the technology, you have some inbuilt system that as we use it, like for example, sometimes when you use generative AI, you see that when you generate an image, there's a watermark on that image that shows that it's AI generated. Obviously, there's a risk of the watermark being removed, but you can start by ensuring that the providers on their own have a watermark on the system, and they make it difficult to remove so that anybody that is there knows that this image is AI generated. So as a bank or as a fintech, when you are interacting with the customer and they submit a particular document, you can know for a fact that this document is artificially generated. So that's one of the key aspects of it. So we have a lot of deep fake issues, but most importantly, in the concluding remarks, what we're saying is that laws have been very good in terms of artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, advanced cognitive analytics, algorithms, but more has to be done. A lot has to be done with the aspect of enforcement and implementation, and also ensuring that we have, just like what is going on with the FATF, we have to have a particular body to just lay the groundwork for this artificial intelligence, so that because for you to have uniform laws, one of the great benefits of the Financial Action Task Force has to be able to uniform the processes and the policies to an extent to ensure that many countries are keeping to the advanced framework, keeping to the standard. That's why they call it Financial Action Task Force standards, and that they don't deviate from the standards. So if we have the artificial intelligence one where you get majority of countries to conform to this, the criminals will not be able to go into another country and hide behind jurisdictions to be able to commit these, illegal acts. And, so that is one of the key aspects of it. So governments are also encouraged to use the, collective action theory, where they work together and ensure that they are able to get, because this AI is borderless. It's borderless. You cannot just state that you get it from just one particular place. It's a borderless crime. So because it's borderless, it's very important that we have a strategic framework of collaboration where we work closely together. Countries are working together and being able to enhance their capacities to evolve further in defending the integrity of the financial system. So that is just my brief presentation on the aspect of being able to, navigate through the hurdles of difficulties and how to be able to ensure that we prevent the misuse of artificial intelligence in circumventing the systems that have been put in place by, financial institutions and fintechs as a whole. So that wraps my own up. And so if you have any questions, you can also put it on the chat box. We have a number of people that you can ask from people from we've had amazing presenters all through. Professor Solomon, Lehana Nel, the VC of Salaam, Abdi, myself. Then the last presenter is supposed to be, coming from the Vice President, Professor Paul Allieu Kamara, 10 minutes presentation. Then we round up. I think we're seeing a representative from our other partners there. But we'll allow that for the final remarks and the closing prayer. Professor Paul Allieu Kamara, over to you for the 10 minutes presentation so that we can round up this conference.
Can you hear me?
Oh, can hear you. It says that there are echoes.
Just give me a minute. I want to address something. Hello? Okay. Are they online? Good morning. Am I there? Professor Eric.
Yes, you're audible. I think you can proceed. There are a few echoes, but you can still proceed.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Let's see how I can this. Okay, so is that okay now? Does it sound okay now, Prof?
Yes, it's okay. It's okay now.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want to acknowledge the professional submission of all my colleagues who have come before me. And I want to let you know that I have learned a lot from all your submissions, and so powerfully done by all of you who have submitted your papers on different topics, from Professor Solomon and Adan Osman to our sister, and also to Professor Eric. And mine is very straightforward. I'm going to look at government and effective leadership. From all that is said here today, I catalog them into one. That is the willingness of the leadership to execute this. Whatever that is being said, whatever
Yeah, Professor Kamara, I think.
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay,
can you hear me?
You.
Okay, just like I said all that has been said here today can only be meaningful if we have what is referred to as effective leadership. And as we are looking at the future of anti-money laundering, I'm going to look at the future of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism, or countering the financing of terrorism, and in compliance in the Sierra Leone context. First, we have to look at the potential risk posed by money launderers to the economy. It is important for us to understand all we're saying has to do with the economy of the country. And I have come to realize in my work with the African Continental Free Trade Zone program, and particularly the effectiveness in leadership, that I've been studying the attitude and the willingness of leaders in executing
the frameworks to combat financial crime across African continent, I see one thing that stands out to be the challenge, and that is the leadership aspect of it. I'm sorry, I don't know, my camera is not booting on. I tried the other camera, but it's not, I don't know. I think you have to manage it this way. But can you see my slides? My slide is showing?
Yes, can see it.
Oh, okay, thank you. So one of the things that I want to talk about is the effectiveness of our governance institution in making sure that the frameworks to fight financial crimes are effectively and judiciously utilized. So like I said, we all recognize the potential risk posed by financial or money launderers to the financial economy and the stability of our finances. And for us, we have a long history. And because of financial crime, terrorism, trafficking, we suffered 11 years of rebel war that has devastated our nation to where we are today. And so looking at some of the key institutions, the Sierra Leone Police, we look at the National Revenue Authority, we look at the Anti-Corruption, we look at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and there were a few I did not mention on my previous article, the book. That was that of the FIA, the Financial Intelligence Agency, which used to be the FIU, the Financial Intelligence Unit, now has been translated or transformed into Financial Intelligence Agency. And we're also looking at the Transnational Crime Department on transnational crime that inclusive of money laundering. And we look at the judiciary and all of those arms. Now, one of the things that stands common is the willingness to actually execute the rules, the willingness to actually be serious in making sure that the right thing is done. Why? All of those institutions as leaders, from the presidency, the parliament, the court, like we have the arms of government, we have the presidency, we have the legislation, we have the judiciary. They have all set to play, very, very crucial roles when it comes to administering policies and programs in the country. So, and there are many, many issues that we have to look at. For example, how effective is the role of the intelligence unit, what we call the financial intelligence agencies today, how effective they are in the area of making sure that they monitor, they prosecute, or probably recommend for some other penal treatment. Recently there has been review of laws. For example, the anti-money laundering of 2000, the anti-money laundering law rather of 2012 has 2002. 2020, 2012, 2020, we upgraded in 2002, and the anti-money laundering law is being upgraded. The terrorism financing law has been upgraded. But one of the things that is said to be very much difficult to do is the prosecutorial area, which is very, very serious. And so one of the things that we're looking at in 2026 is to enforce the area of prosecutorial, mandate. And I think there is a little bit of improvement when it comes to prosecution for the first time. I remember there was a time I was in the radio, the national television, and talking with the director of public prosecution and the director of conversation of my book, The Need for Effective Leadership in Combating Financial Crime. They were able to prosecute in the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, EcoBank, they prosecuted them on the charges of money laundering and terrorism financing for the first time in the history of Sierra Leone from 1961, which has been a whole achievement. Now, a few things that we have to look at. One, how do we identify the process of unlawful activities? And how do we combat it? And then the law is there, but the procedural order on how to go about it. The law is there, and the laws, the channels that are there, but they are not capacitated. So when we're talking about terrorism financing, what are the methodologies that are there to track them, and how do we go about prosecuting them? How do we identify them? And then the other things that we also look at quickly is how to share information with law enforcement officers and the intelligence services that are working on local and international agencies. The mechanisms are there, but they are not well structured. And then the third thing is supervision and enforcement for compliance, particularly on the CFT program, and which has been reformed now to the CFT program of 2020. So those are all things. Now let me come to some things. First, we want to look at the sector of the justice sector of Sierra Leone, which is the judiciary, normally known as the court. And the experience here is that the prosecution can only be done within political opponent. And there are many areas that we suspect that financial crime activities are done based on the porousness in the area of trafficking. You have both private and public, officials that have been the key players on those areas. For example, Eric spoke about politically exposed person, which has now been modified a bit by World Bank, called the powerful exposed person, or public exposed persons, as I refine it to be. So it can be in the context of any man that is powerfully considered in society. But then when it comes to those PEP people, the powerfully exposed people, and then they tend to be selective justice in the area. So that is where the Minister of Justice and the Office of the Attorney, or the law enforcement, or the Solicitor General, or the Prosecutorial Department has to play. Then the Minister of Internal Affairs, the area of regulating the security affairs across border. Eric spoke about cross-bordering. Of course, one of our paper that has eaten over 40,000 people, I think, have been on that paper that was led by Eric in ResearchGate, that is more than 40,000 researchers now across the world. One of the things that was mentioned or captured in that paper was that of the cross-bordering. So you look at this area of internal affairs in strengthening our immigration, in strengthening our cross-bordering activities with other nations, how effective they are. So we have to look at them as we proceed into 2026. Probably we'll do more investigation and see how effective they have been in the area of advancing those places. Now, we talk about the Ministry of Local Government, Rural Development, we talk about the police, we talk about the prison and all of those sorts, and what has been their commitment. Recently, we are having a raid in our country, as President has declared the fight against this. You're surprised to note senior police officers have also been arrested and fired to have been the key pioneers or lead drug dealers in the country. So it is very, very much disheartening to see a police officer that's supposed to have, protect life and property, uphold the law, get involved in trading on drug, and they've been arrested and prosecuted and fired from their job. So you visibly begin to see how effective the leadership across all arms looks when it comes to the area of money laundering. Because if they themselves becomes, victims of money laundering, then the question of who is fighting for who becomes a bigger question. And that's why I always emphasize, when it comes to fighting financial crime, my focus has always been the leadership. How effective is the leadership in fighting the financial crime issue? Because if we don't have the decentralized governance structures, we don't have the willingness, the political governance system within the local spreading institutions that
I think the network is breaking. Can't hear you.
Lack of transparency in the area of they are doing. I also want to, for example,